Welcome to the Courage to Live podcast. My name is Josh Bitsko, and I'm a retired police captain with 24 years of experience. Currently, I travel the country and I teach people about courage, resilience, and leadership. So, in this episode, we want to talk about what it feels like when you start something new. And I think, there's always this perception that, the people that are really good at things, some of the world's best athletes or leaders or whatever it is that people are really good at, that they started that way. And that's just never the case. I mean, being really bad at something is the first step of getting good at something. And I'm reminded of a time, the very first time I stepped into a gym, I was probably like 14. I went with my dad, and he had been working out for a long time. And so, we're setting everything up. I go to do preacher curls, and I load one side of the bar without loading the other side of the bar and holding it. And the bar flips off the little holder. Weights crash everywhere. Everybody looks at me, and my dad looked at me. He was very embarrassed. And that was literally my first time stepping into a gym. And I've worked out pretty consistently since. And, now I walk into a gym and I know what I'm doing. I know, what I want to get done that day. I'm in pretty good shape, so I don't walk in and look like a beginner. But I started as that skinny little 14-year-old that couldn't load a preacher bar. And but there is value in being a beginner. I mean, it gives you the chance to focus on process over perfection. I know so many people, even my kids, when it comes to sports, they're so like, compare themselves to everyone else and worry about, how they're not getting better, or, that they're not going to be good enough to make a certain team. And whereas I see their journey and how much better they are than they were 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. But nobody starts out as an expert. And when you know that, you want to get good at something and you want to improve, you really just have to put in the work and be consistent and showing up. My jujitsu coach used to always say that it's like the best thing you can do to get better at jujitsu is just come to class. Because when you start that journey, you're on YouTube and on Instagram and looking at all the little tips and tricks. Really, the best thing you do is just show up. So it really, the skill of getting over that embarrassment and knowing that, hey, this is going to be awkward at first, where whatever you are stepping, whether it's a new leadership role, a new job, a new hobby, a new skill, getting over that, I'm not going to be really good at this when I start. And with consistency and putting in the work, you eventually will. And you can do that by setting small goals, achievable goals, so you can feel, little wins along the way. They do that, not to go back to jujitsu again, but, some gyms do stripes on your belt. So you're not waiting 2, 3, 4 years before going from white belt to blue belt to purple belt or whatever. But, if you've been doing good for 6 months, you get a stripe on your belt or however that works. But those little achievable goals can keep you consistent and keep you coming back. Another thing is reframing mistakes as lessons. Like I learned the first time I stepped into the gym is when I set up a preacher bar, I'm going to put weight on both sides and hold it down so it doesn't flip off and embarrass me and my dad in front of everybody. So, learning from those mistakes so you don't make the same mistakes again. And then when you have those small wins, make sure you celebrate them. Like, the first time you've been working out for a while and you can see some results, that's a celebration. Or, you hit a milestone, let's say on bench, and you're finally benching 135 or 225 or whatever it is. Celebrate those moments because it's all part of the journey, not about the ending point. Because yes, I've been going to the gym for 35 years at this point or 30 years at this point, and I still am going and I'm still trying to improve and I'm still trying to get better. And the same is true with leadership. There's never an ending point where I would look at myself and say, yep, I got it. I'm a good leader. No, there's always things I can improve on. There's always ways that I can learn to communicate better or hold people accountable better or inspire people for greatness. And knowing that, there's not this endpoint, but it's all in the journey. And if you're enjoying the journey and you're putting in the work, that can be very rewarding in its own right as well. So embrace that beginner stage of your life, whatever it is that you're doing, even if you're mid-40s and you're just trying to learn something, that's still a beginner stage. And the real strength is showing up, being willing to learn, and working on getting a little better every day. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, share it with a friend, leave a review, and I really appreciate you spending time with me today.